Hello everyone, and welcome back. I hope you're all having a peaceful and productive day. In today's episode, unfortunately, we have some serious and rather troubling news that could affect the lives of hundreds of thousands of Americans, particularly those who are already in vulnerable financial positions. As of this month, yes, just recently, it was announced that the Trump administration plans to restart a controversial collections initiative. This renewed policy will directly impact approximately 450,000 Social Security beneficiaries, slashing as much as $3,600 per year from their benefits. That's not a small number, and the ripple effects could be widespread. We'll be breaking down everything you need to know: what this initiative is, who it impacts, why it's happening, and what it could mean for the future of Social Security recipients, especially those who still carry the burden of student loan debt. Now, let's get into the real heart of today's topic. When you hear the term student loan borrower, what age group comes to mind? Most people might picture recent college grads, young adults in their early 20s, possibly fresh out of school, navigating their first job hunt. That assumption isn't entirely wrong. If someone enters college at 18 or 19, they typically graduate between 22 and 24. And let's be honest, entry-level jobs often don't pay well, and many graduates struggle to find work within their field. But here's the surprising, and frankly, alarming, reality: a growing number of student loan borrowers are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond. Some are already collecting Social Security. That's right. Many senior citizens are still weighed down by student debt. Whether it's from loans they took out for themselves decades ago or for their children or grandchildren, these obligations haven't gone away. In fact, some of these older borrowers are in default, meaning they've stopped making payments for an extended period. And now, under the renewed Treasury Offset Program, also known as TOP, the government plans to garnish up to 15% of their monthly Social Security checks. So what exactly is the Treasury Offset Program? It's a federal collections initiative that allows the government to withhold money from Social Security benefits, tax refunds, and other federal payments to recoup defaulted federal debts, like student loans. Though it was paused during the COVID-19 pandemic under various relief efforts, the Trump administration has now moved to reactivate it. Let's put that into perspective. According to AL.com, some Social Security recipients are facing this 15% reduction starting as early as June, which is just around the corner. The 15% is calculated before taxes and deductions, and it doesn't matter whether the payments are retirement-based or disability-based. That's a flat cut, plain and simple. So how much are we talking about in real dollars? In 2025, the average monthly Social Security benefit is about $1,976. If you subtract 15% from that amount, the monthly benefit drops to approximately $1,679. That's nearly a $300 reduction per month, or $3,600 per year. And for many, that $300 could be the difference between paying rent or going hungry. According to CNBC, roughly 2.9 million Americans aged 62 and older currently hold federal student loans. That's a 71% increase since 2017, when there were about 1.7 million borrowers in that age group. Of these, over 450,000 are in default status, and they're the ones facing the immediate risk of having their benefits garnished. If you're someone who's still actively paying your loans and not in default, you're in the clear for now. But if your loans are in default, you'll likely be impacted. The Department of Education has already started notifying around 195,000 defaulted borrowers that garnishments are coming. The rest are expected to receive notices throughout the summer. Each borrower is entitled to a 30-day warning before collections begin. This move also reinstates other involuntary collection tools like tax refund offsets and wage garnishments. Let's consider a real example. Debbie McIntyre, a 62-year-old adult education teacher from Georgetown, Kentucky, is among those who may soon face wage garnishment. She's dreamed of retiring and writing historical fiction, maybe even flying on a plane for the first time since high school. But reality paints a bleaker picture. Her husband has been out of work and on disability for over 20 years. To stay afloat, they've relied on her income and used credit cards just to cover basic needs. And now, with their rent going up by $300 when the lease renews, she's facing real financial distress. If her paycheck gets garnished, she's unsure how she'll manage. She's just one voice in a sea of hundreds of thousands who are entering, or are already in, retirement age while still dragging around tens of thousands of dollars in student debt. This entire conversation naturally leads to a broader, and very necessary, question. Is the cost of college still worth it? Let's crunch some numbers. In the 1969 to 1970 academic year, the average tuition and fees for a four-year public college were around $2,843, adjusted for inflation. Today, that figure has ballooned to nearly $10,892. And that's just tuition and fees, not including housing, textbooks, transportation, or daily living expenses. It's not uncommon for someone to graduate with $50,000 to $100,000 in debt, only to find that their first job pays $30,000 to $40,000 annually. That creates a lifelong uphill battle that many simply can't win. The reality is, for many Americans, college no longer guarantees a stable career, homeownership, or financial security. Instead, it locks them into decades of debt, sometimes well into retirement. According to the National Consumer Law Center, people aged 60 and older now hold over $125 billion in student loan debt, a six-fold increase from just 2 decades ago. As a result, the number of Social Security recipients facing garnishments jumped from about 6,200 in 2001 to over 192,300 in 2019, an astonishing 3,000% increase. This is more than a trend, it's a crisis. And if current policies remain in place, it's only going to get worse. So now, we want to hear from you. Are you for or against this policy? Do you believe garnishing Social Security to collect student loans is fair or unethical? What alternatives could be put in place to handle this growing problem? Let us know in the comments below. Your voice matters, and policymakers do take notice when enough people speak up. To wrap up, this situation is deeply complex and emotionally charged. On one hand, federal loans must be repaid. On the other, we're talking about cutting income from elderly Americans, some of whom are sick, disabled, or have no other support system in place. The broader issue is clear: the rising cost of higher education, the lack of wage growth, and the crippling weight of student loan debt have created a ticking time bomb, and the elderly are the latest casualties. If you're among those affected or just concerned about the state of our education and retirement systems, keep following this story. Speak out. Get involved. Because these policies aren't just numbers on a page, they're real decisions that affect real people, like you, your parents, your neighbors, and your future. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more updates as this story unfolds. Stay safe, and take care.